So we were talking about effluents and disposal of effluents earlier, and where we are outside here, we're in front of, well, you explain, Mark, what we
call it is an engineered wetland. It's basically a hole in the ground. It works on the same principle as a reed bed system, which people use for septic tanks or for waste disposal. So all of the waste from the tannery goes through a central drainage system underground and into this large hole. It is full of a medium, so we put the sand and soil mix in there, and we planted willows, as you can see. So the willow absorbs all of the tannin waste and the residues coming out of the tannery. It filters the water. The water then naturally just filters through back through. So that is our total waste disposal. We've got reeds planted in there which will grow up. They're starting to grow now, but in the winter they die back. So we also put the willow in because the willow grows all year and actually takes up tannin in the winter as well. It's faster to react in the spring than the reeds are to absorb tannin.
And the water will eventually find its way down to the natural water course.
It's actually clay lined, so the whole thing is completely tanked and clay lined. So it doesn't seep through, but the water naturally evaporates out. The willow absorbs liquid as trees do, and it through those photosynthesis, water evaporates out of it. So in the winter the level comes up, and in the summer the level goes down quite a lot. But there's enough space in there to do a year's production of
and
tannin.
It's self-contained.
We've never emptied it. We've never had to empty it.
Do you have to cut the trees, prune the trees?
Yeah, we cut the willow more than anything because we don't want to get too high more than anything, and just be an eyesore and get massive. Also, the more you cut them, the more we coppice them, so they spread out and become bigger, lower and bigger. Our long-term aim with it, and it's more purely as a sort of a trophy project than anything. People used to tan a lot of Russian leather was tanned in willow bark. So willow was once a very popular medium for tanning. We use mimosa, which is a tree bark in there. We buy in a powder form. It's more controllable. It's easier. But we would like to, when these willows are a bit strong, we will cut them down. We will strip the bark. We will dry it and powder it, and we will do some tanning with it. Not as a commercial project. Just it would be nice as that whole closed loop system to tan something with the willow bark that was in the tannery. So quite a personal project, just to play around for the kids and things to mess about with one weekend. But yeah, that's the plan to do it. So we'll boil it up.
Well, one of my other questions to you was going to be about your secret sauce, but I'm guessing I don't want you to tell everybody your secret sauce.
We make no secret about what we do. So the tannery is really simple. We only use 3 raw ingredients. One is an natural acid-based product which lowers the pH. When in the first stage, in the pickling stage, they have very low pH, which helps to push the proteins out and prepare the skins to absorb the tannin. We use mimosa to tan, which is a tree bark. So we use we buy it in sacks. It's from South Africa, from a sustainable source. They grow the mimosa trees there, harvest them, dry the bark. The leaves are all fed back to their goats in the summer. In the summer it's really, really dry, so they dry that out and feed it back to the goats. It's tree hay, they call it. And the wood goes for making firewood, but also it's quite a hard wood, so making sleepers, houses, wood, etc. So it's fully sustainable. Every tree they cut down, they plant 3. And then we buy the powdered bark and use that. We could use oak, which some people use, and that's the traditional method of tanning in the UK is oak bark. For what we do, oak is quite slow. So oak bark, leather tanning in oak can take a year and a day. Is the old-fashioned way of tanning in pits. We can tan in about a week. So mimosa is very, very consistent. It's a powdered product. We know that if we add X amount of water, and we can measure the specific gravity, which we do, and we can get the levels just right, that we can tan a skin within 7 days quite easily. And so it's a more commercial way of doing it. Exactly. So hence we buy a powdered form. But again, back to that, that's why we would like to play around with it and we'll do it. Oak is difficult, you have to chip it, powder and all sorts, whereas the willow, from what we've sort of played with so far, we think we can tan it with a different product. Would be quite fun just to have a go with willow. So.
Smashing.
But the other part of this really is that it's as part of our environmental credentials, is that it isn't just a hole in the ground, it's a really nice wetland that we've got birds. You can see there's birds flying around, there's birds nesting in the winter, there's frogs and newts and toads in there. It's quite a nice additional wildlife habitat on the farm, really.
Great stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that. There's a lot more about both tanning and farming of heritage breeds and organic tanning and farming on our website, and you can check it out on all the normal channels, YouTube, obviously Instagram, Facebook, etc. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, will you like it, share it if you think it's appropriate, and please folks, check back and look at some of the other videos that we're uploading. Thank you.